चेयरमैन सर।
हाँ हाँ,
फोन नहीं उठा रहे यार प्लीज सर, तो मैंने स्टार्ट कर दिया सर।
नहीं आप रुको ना, 1 मिनट रुको जरा।
अर्पित जी दूसरे वेबिनार में है, so I don't think he'll able to.
हाँ फाइन
the call.
फाइन।
Is my screen visible?
सर यस सर।
Yes, yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
There's an echo.
Shweta, let's start.
हाँ, just a minute.
But ma'am, there's an echo at your end.
Yes, मैंने एक leave किया. Now it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. Myself Shweta Jain, a coordinator and practicing chartered accountant of this 10-day workshop in business intelligence and powered by artificial intelligence. On behalf of WIRC, I welcome to all of you in this very unique program. Feel proud to be mentioned that we have successfully completed first batch of this workshop, and after overwhelming response and on the request of the members, we have launched this second batch of this program. So friends, we all know that how important role is playing technology in our day-to-day life. So accounting and auditing is considered as old traditional profession, but with the new technology like artificial intelligence, machine learning, the role of accountant is rapidly changing. So almost every company in the financial technology sector has already started using artificial intelligence to save time, reduce cost, and add value. So keeping this in mind, we have designed this workshop to provide a view of new technology and tools that new age accountant and auditors should be aware about. We have a very learned speaker to teach us about it, Professor Sohrab Vakharia and Asif Rampurwala sir. Asif Rampurwala sir is he's with 17-year plus experience in teaching, corporate trainer, technology enthusiast, and vice principal of Vidyalankar College in Mumbai. And he is accomplished speaker and presenter. Saurabh Vakharia is a technology optimist, is extremely passionate about emerging trend in the technology and implementing the same that improves and ease the lives of businesses of many. From being professor by profession and traveler by passion. So Saurabh has many achievements. With the profound IT knowledge, he now spearheads Wise Monkeys, an online information sharing portal, and is also a co-founder of a Mumbai-based digital marketing agency called iDigital. He is also professor at University of Mumbai. I welcome both of you on the platform of WRC. Moving further, we have with us Chairman of Western India Regional Council, CA Lalit Bajaj. I request him to please address to the participants. Over to you, Chairman.
Thanks, Shweta, for such a kind opening remarks and words of appreciation for both of our faculties who have really taken great efforts to make this training session very successful and ensured that even in the time of festivities, they have ensured that none of our session gets disturbed or say rescheduled, to enrich and encourage that all the members really participate in this very relevant training course which we are conducting at WIRC. At the outset, I welcome both the experts on the subject and all the participants who have joined this particular training session of 20 hours for being part of this and making this program successful. I would like to congratulate the coordinators of this program who has really taken great efforts and toiled very hard to make this 20-hour training session a really successful event. Shweta Jain, Radheshamji Bihani and Hardik Mehta, they have done a wonderful job and keep doing this in future for all the WRC activities. We are really obliged. Let me tell you one thing, that technology is one of the area wherein WRC in past have not been much focusing into. But this year, if you will see, that we have coined with the theme of WRC, which is creating competence with ethics and achieve governance through innovation. And WRC really believes that innovation is the only way by which we can really grow, and at least we can ensure that we can safeguard our livelihood. So with the same idea and taking ahead the action plan of ICI, which is to engage more into ABCD related activities, we at WRC has tried to really take an event which is based on technology and ensure that it is really in the forefront of all the activities of WRC, and not as one of the activity which really gets mixed up with all the income tax, GST and other provisions which we generally have, wherein we see that the moment we announce the program, we get a huge participation and we don't need to convey the program much to the people. Just going through the newsletter, they come to the program. But when we come to technology, in the first session, we tried a lot to create awareness among the members. There was some curiosity among the members to participate. But believe me, the way the program has been conducted and the structure of the program which we have designed, I believe that the second program, people were aware about the program, but there are a lot many priorities looking at the time of serving to our clients, because we are in the mid of June and this is the peak time wherein we have to serve all our clients as far as auditing, income tax, GST, all other legislations are concerned. So even in this scenario, I am really thankful to all the participants who have come ahead and tried to participate and involve in such a subject which is really core of our practice, but it doesn't disturb your practicing area as far as income tax and GST is concerned. So this is a big support from all the participants to be part of this conference. One thing which I would like to tell you is that at WIRC, we are of the opinion that because of this lockdown period, or say because of a period wherein the business community and the CA fraternity both are having their cash flow problems. So we understand that to invest heavily for a small and medium practitioner on all the equipments and technologies which are required to work from home or carry on the activities of a CA office in a more efficient way is difficult, because all the software and applications are not so reasonable to be purchased by each and every chartered accountant. So we at WIRC are trying to take an initiative wherein whichever application of software is really relevant and most largely acceptable, we are trying to enter into an arrangement with that company and ensure that we get the best of the price with best of the services. So I would request all the participants here who are taking part in this training session, that if you come across any company and any product which you feel is largely relevant to chartered accountants, I am not talking about relevant to a group of chartered accountants, but which is largely relevant and very apt for all the chartered accountants, please help us to bring them on board. We from WIRC platform are always in a better position to bargain with the company. We will try to bargain for the best price, and try to ensure that the product is available for all the chartered accountants at the best price possible. So that is one request from WIRC to all the participants, and not only participants, to both the technical speakers, because they might be aware about the products available in the market and which is really useful. So I will use this forum to appeal to all the participants related to this. And one thing which I personally believe is that future will be very much different from past, and it will be really different from the present. And the future, as slowly and gradually the future is unlocking, I see lot many dynamism and lot many uncertainties which we as chartered accountants have to face. And I think so this is one of the conference, this is one of the training session which will really enable and enrich us to understand and to accept the future in a much better position and a much better way. So I really request all the participants to really don't only register for the training session, take active participation, engulf yourself, ask more and more queries. Both of us speakers are kind enough to reply to each and every doubt of yours, and try to ensure that you get most of the understanding and benefit of the program wherein you are investing your time, money and efforts, all three. And we look forward that you are benefited the most. And at the same time, if you really feel it worthwhile for members and students at large, do create a proper awareness among the members, because we have taken an initiative wherein we are trying to literate all our chartered accountant fraternity as far as technology is concerned, because we feel that as of now there are a lot many chartered accountants, when it comes to technology it is really difficult for them to operate and to take the services ahead. So we at WRC have taken this initiative on our heads, and we are trying to ensure that all our members should really be literate on technology front. And we want help from each one of you. Please create awareness about this program so that maximum member can know about the program, at the same time can involve themselves and get their team involved in the program, so that we can ensure that the benefit is passed to the last bottom of our profession, wherein we really serve at the ground level. So this was all from my part. Once again, I congratulate each one of you for being part of such a wonderful and nicely designed program, and I look forward for more and more participation from all of you. And one thing lastly to share with you, we have come out with a wonderful compilation which is work from home in last 15 days, and that has been the efforts have been put by Arpit Kabra and Yashwant Kasar from our regional council members front, and there were many contributors who have really helped us. Let me tell you that compilation has been appreciated by institute all across the offices. Central Council, all the regional councils, all the branches have really appreciated that, and post this publication, they have ensured that we are not going with any other publication. We will insist our members to use this publication of WIRC, which is really fantastic. So this publication is available on WIRC website, and I urge and request all the members that take benefit of that. This is freely available for all the members and students. Take benefit of that and ensure that you can really use it. That was all from my part. Once again, thank you, and back to Shweta ji.
Thank you, Chairman. Without taking much time, I would request to Asif sir, please start today's session.
Thank you, Shweta ma'am. Thank you, Lalit sir, for the encouragement and always being there. I must congratulate the entire WRIC team, especially Shweta ma'am and the people who are involved. We are running this session second time in. So we ran a session last month, and we're doing it again this month. And I can see the number of participants have actually increased. My name is Asif Rampurawala, and I will not be taking today's session actually. So it would be Saurabh, my colleague, who's going to be handling the session. However, I thought that it would be a nice time to, always inaugurations are nice places to start with. So I would come in and I have a small word with you all to just basically tell what we are going to do. And some of you all might have attended our IT security management sessions, and therefore would know our methodology. But because there are many more who are probably meeting us for the first time, our methodology is a little unique. It's not a webinar wherein we have a monologue where Asif and Saurabh will just bombard you with information. In fact, we like to have a dialogue, and we realize that as working professionals, you all are having real challenges in the real world, and we would like to understand those challenges and try to understand how technology in terms of artificial intelligence and business intelligence can be relevant in your work area, and what do you expect in the days and years to come. How will technology impact your profession in general and life as a whole? So we will try to make it as relevant as possible. There are obviously in the 10 days sessions which we have lined up, we have a lot of hands-on or practical aspects which we will be covering using certain technologies which are easily available to you all. So we'll be using stuff like, some Excel techniques, and for data analytics, we'll be using Orange to implement AI, demonstrations without having to code anything. And we will also be using something, a lot of, dashboard design and visualizations and techniques like that for extraction, transformation, and loading using technologies called as Microsoft's Power BI. So you might have heard about these technologies, and there will be many other technologies which you might have heard about, and we'll try to make sense of all those things. We are not here to train anybody to become a programmer. We realize that chartered accountancy is a very hard profession to get into and to reach a stage, and you all have done that. So we understand. We will try to make it relevant to your profession as we go ahead. The only thing we encourage is that we have a lot of interaction. So the chat window will be available for you all to put comments and your suggestions and your questions, and we will try to take them as we go along rather than wait for the last few minutes. If my previous sessions are anything to go by, 8:30 deadline really does not hold most of the times. So be prepared. You can inform people at home not to cook food and be ready at 8:30 exact. Okay, so we might have a few minutes here or there, but we'll try to be sticking to the time as far as possible. So that's it from my side today. Thank you, everyone. Saurabh, over to you.
Thank you, Asif sir. I think some network issue is there, and Saurabh has disconnect. So maybe he's
okay.
again. Yeah.
All right. Perfect timing for him to disconnect. All right. I hope everything happens. So let me just start off. Since I'm there and Saurabh isn't, let me just start off. Me and Saurabh have been working for quite a long time now. We know each other for more than 15, 17 years. And over these years, we've been trying to build lots of products. We've collaborated a lot on a lot of his projects, and the things which we've realized is how AI has been changing the entire business domain. So Saurabh will give you some of these live examples as we go ahead. Saurabh, are you back?
Yes, I'm there. I'm back.
Yeah. So do you want to take over?
Sure, sir.
Yeah. All right. See you, everyone.
Thank you. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. And now, since this is the second session here, so maybe I'll try to understand the things a little more better and try to give you more knowledge. Please help me at your end as well if you do not understand anything. And maybe today you will understand our teaching methodology, what we follow. We've got a bouquet of you can say a knowledge package which we're planning to share. So there are a few uh, uh, there are a few sessions which I'll be taking. There are a few sessions Asif would be taking, and we'll try to impart you the knowledge and all. Okay, so today we'll talk more on AI. We'll talk about understanding the fundamentals, and because since it is the first session, I always prefer giving fundamental knowledge to all my listeners. So here now, I would just like to check a couple of more things. I need to just share my screen first with you. Just a moment. Just give me a second. So I would prefer while we are working, while we are on the session, I would prefer that you all interact with me. To interact, we generally prefer a chat room wherein any questions or anything which we talk about, you can type. I know not there are 227 participants here, so not everyone can speak, but definitely everyone can message. All right. So I need to just check with the system here to share my person. Shweta ma'am, are you there online? Hello, Shweta ma'am, are you there online? Just a moment. Am I audible and clear to everyone?
Yeah, so you're audible.
Okay, so I need to share the window. I think I've lost the controls. So so if I can have the controls to present. Just a second, guys. I think I'll just check with one, and we can have the controls. Maybe some network error. Maybe. Just a moment, everyone. I'm just waiting for having these controls on. So just give me a moment, please. All right. Yes, I got it. Perfect. Okay. So I think my screen is visible to everyone, right? All the
Yeah.
attendees. Perfect. Super. And okay, just one minute. Thanks for that. Hello. Okay. So all the members, if you can have your chat window on, and I would just like to have a little interaction with you all. So if you can hear me and you can type in the chat window which is available, just say hi or whatever. So maybe I know that people are messaging and I can see the messages. Shadam, I think I need this control as well because I can't see the messages from the participants.
The chat window is not enabled now.
It was enabled earlier, but maybe because I went offline and I came back, so it's not again. It's gone again. If I can have the control once again. Okay. Anyway, uh, so I'll just present the screen. Trying to understand artificial intelligence, guys. So this is something which we need to understand in a very simplified way. Before we even understand artificial intelligence, I'd like to have a few more fundamentals cleared. So I am just requesting once again for this chat option. So maybe if that's on. Hardik sir, if you're there, or maybe Shweta ma'am, if you're there.
Yeah,
Help me
so
out
it's
Yes,
here.
sir.
still not.
Hardik?
सर यहाँ से तो एक्टिव दिखा रहा है वो.
Acha, okay. Okay. Because I can't read any of the message coming from people.
Yeah, yeah, I'm still unable to see the chat window.
So do one thing. You please continue till the time I contact to Mishra ji and we'll find out some solution. You continue on that.
Okay.
So when you question answer or some, or you can start on WhatsApp or something like that.
Yes. We can.
So
All right.
before that, I just want to inform everyone that we have created a WhatsApp group also. So I have added so many people till whoever registered till yesterday. I have added them. Who else is registered today will add you maybe by evening or by tomorrow.
All right.
You continue.
So,
yeah.
okay, perfect. So everyone, guys, probably if I'm loud and audible at all, you can use your WhatsApp, and we'll be continuing the session in a way so that you can type your messages on WhatsApp. I'll read them and I'll answer them. Now, just to give you a small little instruction when we walk around, that kindly control the bombardment of messages because there are a lot of people here, so people might get disturbed and when there'll be too many messages. So just try to control on that. So Sweta ma'am, if you can just open the WhatsApp group so people can message. Okay. Now, understanding AI from the perspective of a very layman. So the term itself is divided into two different parts. Like one is artificial, another is intelligence. Okay. So we need to understand what is AI. To understand what is AI, first we need to understand the basic intelligence. So I would say let us go to a fundamental understanding of a small little flow, which I always explain during the start of my sessions. Okay, so now this flow, which we are going to learn, this flow is going to teach us from where it starts and till intelligence, how it goes. All right. So first thing, first question, am I loud and clear to all? A bit louder. Okay, I'll be a little more louder. I think this is better. All right, thank you. Perfect. Now, since the sound is better, and so the flow which we are going to understand, that starts with understanding the entire information system, wherein data plays a very important role. Okay, my voice is cracking. Okay, that's Just a moment. I'll reconnect the session. All right, now is it perfect? All right. Okay, guys, you can start bombarding messages, and I think 1 or 2% can tell me when my voice is good or not. Okay,
Saurabh, this is fine here.
this is fine. Okay, all right, all right, all right. I just thought that a few people were saying the voice is breaking, so maybe. All right, no problem. So now to understand the entire scenario, we'll start with the understanding of the data first. Okay, so data has its own defined definition, which starts uh, as a collection of raw facts and figures. Okay, so my entire process of the flow goes starts from the data. And why do we discuss about data? Because uh, our entire information system is going to revolve around the same. So data, as by definition, is a collection of raw facts and figures. Now we need to understand what are these facts and what are these figures. Now when I say facts and figures, facts, for that matter, they are numbers. Okay, most of us understand fact as maybe something which is very true, but facts are numbers here. I'm sorry, there are a lot of messages saying that the voice is not clear. Okay, hold on, I'll help you. I'll help you. Don't worry, don't worry. I'll just try and help you with. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Just a moment. I'm just doing mic testing, nothing more. So you might hear a beep. I'm just doing the sound check. All right. Uh, so I hope now you can hear me proper. I have done the now sound check and it is showing perfect. All right. You can hear the voice, right? If you can hear the voice, that's fair enough. Voice is proper now. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Better. Thank you. Thank you. So others, please don't
Yeah,
message. Hold on. Okay. So coming back to our main understanding, can you allow me to speak? Okay. So to understand data, uh, we need to understand it is part which is derived from the facts and figures, as I was there. These facts are numbers, and these figures, what are there? They are the representations of those numbers. Now, what we see as a written part, like that is 1, 2, 3, 4, or what we see as in English or in Hindi or in any other language, the representation is a figure. It's a two-dimensional representation of the fact. Like when I say the word one, or when I speak of the term two, the voice which you listen to, you try to make some meaning out of it. Okay, this voice is giving you uh, a command to your brain, which is trying to understand and which is trying to get its own conclusion. Okay, if I start speaking something gibberish, maybe if I start speaking in some other language, maybe in Chinese for that matter, most of us who are listening would not be able to understand. Most of us, I would say. There would be few who are well versed with the language and would be able to interpret that, and they'll be able to understand. Okay, possibly. So the entire idea is uh, there is a logic behind, there is some value behind every sound or every representation, rather, I would say. Whatever is written is there in front of you, whatever you can see, something which is written chapter 1 introduction. Okay, what is AI? It's written. So what you see right now on the screen, you can read and understand, and there is some value hidden beside that. Okay, so this combination of the raw fact and the figure is a two-dimensional representation of the values. Okay, this defines state. Now at times it happens this combination of raw facts and figure might not be understandable to few, might be understandable to only a few set of people. So there needs to be a process which is making you understand that. So we say when the data is processed so that you can understand, it becomes informative. That's what we call as an information. So from the data to an information, there is a journey, and that journey is of a process. And that process is something which you understand. Okay. So there are definitely several set of rules. Somebody's taught you the process. For example, when you were a kid, somebody taught you what is A, B, C, D, what is 1, 2, 3, 4. Somebody taught you all that. You learned it. Somebody told you that if you just draw a line from above to below straight, that's one, and it has a value, a significant value of being a singular set. So you've been taught, you've gone through the process so that you know it. What if somebody would have taught you differently? For example, the mathematics what I have learned has taught me that it starts from 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So you might feel, according to you, I just said something wrong, or I just said something incorrect. Probably at your end, you might be thinking that. But what I learned is 1, 2, 4, 3, 5. That's how I have learned. For me, it makes very well sense. So that when I say 1 plus 2 is equal to, it could be 4. Why? Because that 4 represents 3 singleton sets. Yeah, I'm speaking 4. I'm writing 4, but it represents 3 singleton sets. It doesn't represent 4 singleton sets. It says that there is 1 singleton set and there are 2 singleton sets we are combining, giving me an outcome. Why? Because a rule set was defined that way. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? The idea behind this fundamental is to make you realize how AI works. Okay. Now, if we go further on the same understanding, when there is information, and this information, what we have, is further processed, because now that we have got some information, now that we have in Hindi we call it as jankari. Okay, definitely with this information we increase our knowledge, or rather we get knowledge. Now that we know, because of the information we have, we know that 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. That's what we know. So we call it as knowledge. Now we're going to implement this knowledge somewhere. We're going to implement this knowledge. We're not going to keep it with ourselves. So when we
Sorry to interrupt
implement,
you, Sarah.
yes,
So
yes,
sorry to interrupt you. But I think there is some disturbance in your voice. This
okay,
is sometimes it's coming clearly, but most of the time it is breaking, and we are not able to hear you properly.
okay. Give me a second, then maybe I'll reconnect once again. Maybe there could be some network error. I beg your pardon, just give me like 2 minutes. I'll disconnect and I'll reconnect.
Okay, fine.
Just give me 2 minutes. I'll disconnect and I'll reconnect back.
Fine.
Is it better?
Come again, please. I'm not able to hear you.
Can you?
Saurabh, I'm not able to hear you.
You're not able to hear me. Okay.
Now it's clear, little bit.
There's some audio problem there. Lord knows.
Now please try.
Modulation. Okay, can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe I reconnected, so this helped.
Yeah. And I make you organizer also. So you please see the chat room if it is active.
All right.
And now please continue.
Okay. So I hope everyone can hear me. My voice is reaching all. So maximum people are saying yes, so I believe it's better. I beg your pardon, maybe it was some connection issue. I'm sorry for that. Much better than before. Thank you. All right. So can you see my screen? I've shared a PowerPoint. Can you see that?
Yes, we
Still
can see the
breaking.
first slide.
Perfect. Okay. Exactly. So that's how it is. Okay. For a few, if the sound is breaking, you can also reconnect like me. Maybe that will help you. So it helped me. So those who cannot hear me better, yeah, it's first slide only. It's not stuck at chapter page. It's the first slide. Don't worry. I've not gone further because I'll repeat everything once again. Okay. So I won't let you all miss out on anything. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. All right. So to make you understand, and I was talking about data, and I was talking about information, and I was talking about the knowledge flow. Okay. So I'll quickly brief you once again on the same. So how do we understand this entire phenomena? Okay. So the entire phenomena, it talks about the data to the information, and from the information to the knowledge. And from that knowledge, we move further to understand intelligence. Now, the data, when it is processed, what we receive, what we achieve is information. The information, what we get, gives out the knowledge. And this knowledge, when we implement and we try to implement into our systems or wherever in our vicinity, the implementation of the knowledge is science. Okay, so this is not something which is coming from me. This is something which is coming from the Bhagavad Gita itself, where the explanation of the flow is being given. Okay, but then now, where is intelligence? Intelligence is a part which comes into the same if the knowledge is implemented correctly. So when we've got knowledge and when we implement that knowledge correctly, that correct implementation of knowledge gives us intelligence. Are you getting it? Okay. I'm sorry, there is no Jayashri, there is no issue with the voice sound.
Okay. Saurabh, you continue the lecture. I mean, we can start.
All right, all right. Okay. So now, to give you another understanding after the intelligence part, what is artificial intelligence? When we say an implementation which is done correctly, okay, when we say this particular implementation uh, which is coming from the knowledge, and this knowledge is being implemented correctly, if this entire task is done by a machine, okay, we call that as an artificial intelligence. So in this scenario, I would simply say a small little implementation of even calculating two numbers would be considered as an intelligent task done by a machine. So that is also a part of artificial intelligence. Now try to understand this phenomena. So AI is not a big rocket science. AI is not something which is very much different. It is just a right implementation of logic. Just a right implementation of logic. Okay. So then you might think that if it is that simple, why it has been so much hyped up? Okay, if it is just right implementation of a small little system or a logic, then it could be any machine, if it is working correctly, or any piece of code in information system which is running correctly could have been considered as an AI. So are there different type of coding involved, or are there different type of things involved? No, it's simple. So artificial intelligence is simple. That is the reason it is artificial. It's not human. So okay, when I said it's not human, then there has to be something different in human intelligence. Human intelligence could be different. Do you agree to this? That AI and human intelligence is different?
Are you there, Saurabh? Hello? Okay, fine, fine. Okay, I'm going to announce. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Saurabh sir is trying to connect again, and if it is really not at all clear, we will reschedule this session again. So please have patience and listen today. Let me check and Saurabh also how he can help us. And if it is not at all clear, we will reschedule this session again. So please be there, please.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hello, Saurabh. Now I can
Yes, ma'am.
hear you. Yeah,
You can hear me?
yeah. Mishra ji told me that you please switch off your video, so at least no network problem can be occurred. So you please switch off your webcam and start your session. And I'm giving
All
you
right.
a
Yeah, yeah.
organized also.
Now it's
All
much
right.
better, Saurabh. Yeah.
Much
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, yeah.
You please check that I've given you organizer right.
All right, ma'am. All right. Okay. All right, everyone. I'm back, and I hope my sound is clear to everyone.
Yeah, yeah. Now it's
So
very much clear.
very much clear. Okay. 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 I'm
Saurabh,
really
I have
sorry.
so sorry. I have given you admin rights on WhatsApp also and change the
Okay.
settings. So you can allow the participant as and when you require.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, yes. I can see. Okay. Okay,
Now,
guys. Yeah, I am continuing. I'm giving you an access to revert. So maybe just tell me whether I am audible or not. Nothing more. Okay. So I hope I am audible to all. If can people just tell me by yes or no, so that I know that
Yeah, yeah.
you can hear me.
Yeah, now it's very much clear. Saurabh, you can start the session.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. I'm really sorry for the network glitch. Really sorry for that. Okay. I'll repeat. I'll repeat what I said earlier. Okay. So we'll start from the very start, and if need be, I will prolong the session to complete everything. Don't worry, I won't let it go waste at all. Okay. So here we go. Making you understand from the very start. Okay. Making you understand from the very beginning of the AI, wherein we have learned a little bit of a part of where intelligence comes into a picture, and the another term how artificial connects to the same. Okay, so here a quick recap of understanding from the data to intelligence flow once again. So the data is something which is a collection of raw facts and figures. From these raw facts and figures, when we can understand them, what we get back from that is information. So we call a processed part of data is information. Now this information is something which gives us knowledge so that we know it. This knowledge what we have, when we put this into an implementation, that is science. So that is the reason we say uh, everyone is a science student. Like I especially say that everyone is a science student. Nobody can say that I belong to commerce or arts or something else. Everyone is a science student. Okay, that's just a saying. Okay. Uh, so now, when this knowledge is implemented correctly, when we are trying to implement it right as it has been mentioned, that part we call it as intelligence. Intelligence is not something which is something out of the world, something supernatural. For example, if I can simply walk from one place to another, that's intelligence. If I say that, for example, I can hold a glass of water properly, that's intelligence, because I know the technique. how to do that. If I can calculate 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, that's intelligence. So in that scenario, every student who's even scored 0 out of 100 is intelligent. Yeah, it is. That's true. So intelligence is not something very supernatural. It's something which is just there. When we try to do something and we are able to do it correctly, and we are able to implement the knowledge correctly, that is intelligence. Very simple word. Okay. Now, similarly, if this thing is been done by a machine, okay, in this scenario, the machine is doing the task correctly, so then it becomes artificially intelligent machine. For example, a piece of code, if it is there and you run that piece of code correctly and gives you output, it is intelligent. Now that piece of code could be simply to calculate two numbers. Very simple. Like you've given as input as 1, add addition to another number as 2, and the output comes 3. That's intelligence. So we will call this entire scenario as artificial intelligence. But definitely, this is different from human intelligence. That is the reason it is artificial intelligence. So, do we think that human intelligence has to be something supernatural, something which is out of the world? Maybe, may not be. The answers are yet unknown, but definitely it's different. So, Sir Alan Turing, if you would be knowing, wanted to explain the same, and he tried explaining the same to the world, in roughly 1940s to 50s. That's the time where he wanted to explain it to people. So he came up uh, with the concept of the imitation games, or and then later it was been said as the Turing test. So way before even computers originated, the concept of artificial artificially intelligent machines got derived, and that was been derived by Sir Alan Turing. Now that is really shocking. Like computer तो बना नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी वो AI की बात कर रहे थे. Yes, they never wanted to make a computer. They always wanted to mimic a human brain. Now let me give you an example to make you understand what is how the human brain works. Okay, and to give you an understanding, I would like to have a little understanding from your end. Okay, do you just think that human brains are different? Yes or no? Are they different than machines, or are they same as machines? What do you think? Yes. Okay, not same as machines. So we agree. We agree to this point that yes, they're different. Okay, nice, nice. Fair enough. They're different. Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I'm gonna give you a few set of questions, uh, and you need to just tell me what do you think? Can a machine think? First question. What do you think? Can a machine think? Okay, there are a few people are writing a lot. No, no, no. A lot of people are saying no. Machines cannot think. Few there somebody saying yes, yes. It's okay. Whatever your answer is, yes or no. Hmm. There are more of no's and there are less of yeses. Yes, coming. Okay. If given a program to work on, somebody says, okay, no, machines cannot think, but process the instruction. Jayashi, perfect, perfect, lovely. Second question. Second question. Are humans machines? Are humans machine? Do you think that we are also machines? Yes or no? This is a tricky question. This is a very tricky question. No, humans are not machines, but few are saying yes, we are machines. That's because you think that सुबह से शाम तक ये machine काम करती रहती है जो regular inputs दिए वैसा. No, humans are not machines. Humans are prone to error and machines are not prone to error. You mean to say that? Because machines also have error. Abhi dekho, it was such a big glitch, a network glitch. I actually did nothing just to restart my machine. है ना? So error chala gaya, pata nahi. But there was an error. Equivalent to a human brain, all needs is information, data storage, and programming. Okay. A machine plus consciousness is equal to human. Okay. Consciousness is a beautiful term. Okay. We'll discuss that. We'll discuss that. My another question to you. Somebody's adding glitches because of the bandwidth, and this bandwidth is again a part of machine. So, yeah. Can machines think like humans? The third question. Can machines think like humans? No. Yes. No. No. Machines cannot think like humans. Okay. Okay. Good. 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 My final question to you. Okay. Uh, how would we know whether a computer is thinking? If I happen to say that I've programmed a machine which can think. What if I say that? And just imagine a computer is there in front of you. You're playing chess. You're playing online chess, artificial intelligence chess, or you're playing a game against your computer. And there are a lot of games which we play against computer. Okay, we play mobile games also against the computer system. So do you think the machine is thinking? What do you think? Computer is processing. If you store all the information as human has and program machine as, then they can think. Okay. Somebody is writing Google. It's processing. Acha. It's based on the previous moves that were played. Okay. So when you say it was based on the previous moves that were played, that means your machine is intelligent, is behaving intelligently. It is self-learning and adapting. Okay. It's just evaluating all the options. Okay. Based on the history. Okay. Lovely. So there are different set of answers coming here. So good, good. Logic needs to learn from machine. Human can create a new logic. Google is an example of that. Has faculty shared the material? Oh, that's not the question I asked, but I'll share the material. It may be based on all the permutation and combination. All right, fine, fair enough, fair enough. So hold yourself here. Now I'll tell you. That's good. At least the few questions. The reason there is to ask these questions that you need to understand it a bit more. So maybe Alan Turing, or Sir Alan Turing rather, I would say, he during his time asked these questions to himself, or maybe to people where he wanted an answers. So in roughly in 1950s, he somewhere created a Turing test. Okay, and this Turing test was in a way when there's a human interrogator at one side and the other side is a human, or there is an AI system or an artificially intelligent system. So now what happens here in this scenario, a human interrogator will fire a set of questions, and from the other side there are two systems. One, there is human. Another side there is AI system. So the replies which are coming now, these replies when they come from a human, they are going to be different. When the replies comes from an artificially intelligent system, they're going to be different. So this test gave him an idea that there are chances that one time this AI system is going to do a mistake. There are high chances that this AI system will throw a wrong answers. For example, अगर मैं आपसे एक simple सवाल पूछूं कि how are you? A very simple question. How are you? So maybe your answer could be yes, I'm fine, okay, or whatever, however you want to answer. But if I change my tone and I say, okay, so how are you? Maybe my tone is a bit satirical and I'm trying to fire a satire on you and I'm trying to actually ask you differently. I'm not actually really asking you how you are, but I'm trying to point out that you are in pain, right? And I know that and I want you to be in pain. Maybe I'm bad, possible. But for a machine, if the same thing is asked, how are you? The reply is going to be, okay, I'm fine, or whatever has been programmed for. So a machine can entertain you to an extent, but then on the other side, when there's a human, the human will give you a different outcome. All right, I'll give you one more example to make you understand. Okay, so my another example which goes in, it goes this way. For example, that every day, on a daily basis, you are having a cup of ice cream after your dinner. Why? Because you like a cup of chocolate ice cream every day after dinner. Good. You're doing that practice daily. But there's a high chance of possibility one fine day you might say no. Uh, Not because that you're unwell, not because of any other situation. You just don't want to have it, which is likely to be possible. Why this happens? Why this happens? Every day, everything was proper. I was enjoying a cup of ice cream, but maybe today I don't want to. Possibly. Another example. Imagine somebody there are guests coming at your house, and then you've served them a nice cup of tea. Now that the cup of tea which has been prepared, you've prepared 5 cups of teas, and you've served it to 5 different people. Now the tea is being made in the same vessel with all the same ingredients, so that means it's the taste and everything is exactly the same. Okay, the ingredients are same, everything is same. But now all these 5 people are enjoying it differently. Someone is liking it, someone is disliking it, someone feels something else, someone feels something. So all 5 are going to give you a different opinion about the same. Why does that happen? Any random guesses from your end? Why does that happen? Different receptive capability. Okay. There is a different perception, different taste, different likings, past experience. Okay, nice. Okay, different values, different habits, ethics. Everyone has own neurological experience because they are humans. If machines, they would answer, the answer would have been same. Different grooming and adoption. Every human has a different choice. Correct. So this difference, okay, this difference, like it is everywhere. For example, visualizing. We create our own scenario, our own environment. Right now I'm talking to you, you're listening to me. Maybe few of you have created your own version of Sarab in your own mind. You somebody has calculated me as a different person. Like they're like, 200 plus people here. So everyone has calculated and understood me as differently. Very much possible. Everyone will have a different perception. What is all this? This is human cognition. This is what we call as cognitivity in humans. And how it comes? Why? Because humans have power of discrimination, जिसे हम विवेक बोलते हैं, ठीक है ना? Human have got power of discrimination. We call it as विवेक, कि हम अपने हिसाब से डिस्क्रिमिनेट करते हैं, अपने हिसाब से कॉग्नाइज करते हैं, अपने हिसाब से एक परसेप्शन बनाते हैं. Are you getting it? So this is not something which I am saying it from my pockets. This is something which is written in scriptures. This is something, an explanation you might find in most of the Vedas, or maybe, I'm not saying that I'm a very really Veda person or something. I have a little knowledge, so you will find it there. This is something which is coming transcendentally. This knowledge is coming transcendentally from all those sources. Are you getting it? So to give you an understanding of this, now how do we behave and how things depend, this cognition? Okay, there is another term which is known as rationality. I would like to discuss the term which is known as rationality. Anyone who knows what is being rational? Anyone? Yes, so we call it as Vivek Buddhi. Definitely, yes, correct. Perfect. So my another question is rationality. Anything you know, rational is equal to logical, ideal scenarios, logical. Okay. So whatever actions happen, they are connected. They are because of some incidents. A simple example of rationality I'll give. I am taking out an umbrella because it is raining outside. Simple. Because we see it's raining outside, I might get wet. I don't want to get wet, so I will bring out umbrella. Very simple example. Okay. So humans do that. Now, same thing, this rationality part can be added in machines. Do you think? What do you think? Can we add this in machines or no? Okay, so even a machine can see it is raining. I think we need to take an umbrella. Yes, people are saying yes. Okay, now I'm going to twist this. Rationality can be added into machine. Okay, I'm going to twist this. It is raining outside. I know that I need to carry umbrella, but I am a monsoon person. I want to enjoy rains. Out of all the 100 people, 99 will carry an umbrella, but I purposely will not carry an umbrella because I want to enjoy rains. Possible? So what about machines? Do you think that machines would ever be able to do that? Okay, even I want to enjoy rain here today. Let me get wet. Right? No. Machines cannot differentiate between the rain and sprinkled water. Yeah, well, very true. For them, it is just a system. If water is there, just open it to need to open umbrella. But getting wet is a rational decision. Yes, it is. Why not? Why not? I'm a monsoon person. I like rains. My logic says it'll give me happiness. You can carry umbrella and still not open it. Yes, possible. I carry umbrella. I because I want to enjoy. I want to dance. Possible with for that happiness. So मे बी लॉजिकली हमें लगे कि नहीं यार गीला होना थोड़ी ना लॉजिक है, लेकिन किसी के लिए वो लॉजिक सही भी तो हो सकता है ना. किसी को उसमें मजा भी तो आ सकता है, तो जो आपके लिए सही है सामने वाले के लिए डिफरेंट हो. Okay, so now since another I've just shared, I opened another slide. Okay, there are few things which are coming. I need to read them. Machines will remain objective as it is programmed. Human will remain subjective. Okay, okay. We can program the machine to ask you every time whether you open an umbrella or not. But then again, फिर अगर वो machine इस तरह से programmed है that it is going to ask me, so it's not human. Hmm. Movie Sully clearly brings a difference. Possible. I've not seen movie Sully. Sully. I know I've not seen that movie, so maybe. Okay. So uh, now here, thinking humanly, acting humanly, acting rationally, and thinking rationally. There are four paradigms which are just I've plotted in front of you. If you can you can just read. So these are the ones which are been discussed by different people in different times. Okay, so everyone has tried to give their own set of explanation on the same. So I have just picked up a few and mentioned it in front of you so that you know on the same. So I want to stay in the loop because you might not be able to understand this right away straight, but maybe after the end of all the sessions, you will understand these four paradigms, what I'm trying to say. So they'll be there. Another explanation when we say a rational thinking, okay, something which is logical. So there is something which is correct and incorrect. Okay, there's something which we see के ये सही है और ये गलत है. Okay, so the definition of that right and wrong or being logical or being illogical is again totally based on our own set of perception. Like for example, uh, for most of us, chori karna galat hai. For most of us, somebody who's stealing, somebody who's a thief, is considered to be a person who's doing a wrong act. But for the thief himself or herself, who's performing the act, might not be wrong. Might be that that act is justified to that person by him or herself, that they are doing it is justified, like, okay, I'm a Robin Hood, whatever. So that is the reason they are not finding it wrong and they're doing it. When we do some act, we only do that act because we find it correct. Maybe that particular moment of time we find it correct. We will not do the act if we don't find it incorrect. Now, what is correct and what is incorrect? Let me first define that. Okay, correct or incorrect, right or wrong is not something which is a global definition. Correct means to the possible scenario of inputs. If it is logically fitting, then it is correct. For example, right now I'm hungry, I have no sources, and this is the only source available wherein I need to pick up some food from somewhere and eat without asking to survive. So maybe for that moment, for that person, the entire scenario is correct. For whatsoever reason, we are not getting into reasons. हमारा reason में जाने का कारण नहीं. But simply to explain you, rule set में अगर fit बैठता है तो वो correct है. Rule set में नहीं fit बैठता तो incorrect है. ये same तरीका machines में भी है. In the machine logic, if something which fits of the machine, it is correct. Something which doesn't fit to a rule set of a machine, it is incorrect. Very simply, if I say, if my machine is programmed as 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1 plus 2 is equal to 4. If that is how my machine is programmed, So that logic is always correct for a machine. Every time you give an input 1 plus 2 or 2 plus 1, you're going to get a same outcome. That's 4. Why? Machine has been programmed that way. Do we agree? Similarly, because that is the rule set. And what is programming? Programming means defining the rule sets. Once the rule set has been defined, if it works accordingly, intelligent, great. So somebody says nothing is right or nothing is wrong, it is subjective. Very true. Are you getting what I'm trying to say till now? I hope everyone has understood what I'm trying to say till now. All right, good. Thank you. Okay, so I have shared an image of John McCarthy, who has also developed a programming language for AI, which is known as Lisp. He says the science and engineering of making intelligent machines, especially intelligent computer or computer programs. He says about AI. Okay, that is his quote. Just to give you a little enlightenment on what John McCarthy is trying to say about AI. Everybody, see, everybody is having its own set of definition. You and I will have our own set of definition. So these people, they had their own set of definition. So I just thought of sharing, according to John McCarthy. I'll repeat the line: the science and engineering of making intelligent machines, especially intelligent computer programs. According to him, that's how he is defined AI. So he was the person who made a programming language, which is list processing, which has been used for AI programming. That is the world's second oldest programming language. All right. So anyway, moving further. Now there is a Turing test which comes in, and I've already explained to you on that. Let me ask you something more. Uh, just give me a moment. I'm trying to share something interesting with you. You are going to love that. Just give me a second. Okay, so I'm turning this presentation on, and I changed my PPT. Can you see?
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So here is a small brief history of AI. Okay, and so what happened after World War II? I have got a little bit of history. We can definitely found this on Wikipedia as well. And don't worry, I'll be sharing this entire document with you. So don't worry. But I just want you to just pay attention on that. So I would just like to explain these pointers here. So now AI is something which is way older than what is written here. AI is something which is way earlier which existed. So my mentor who taught me AI, I remember him always teaching me AI in a different method. I would also like to share that with you. So what I've learned Now this is now why I always say what I've learned, because it is a transcendental information. Okay, I'll tell you why I always say. I'll explain this to you during my last lecture. I want to keep this as a secret for an entire session. I'll give you a reason why I always will say that this is what I have learned. Okay, so this is a transcendental set of information which has come. Okay, so maybe transcendental means somebody has taught me, and that person has learned from somewhere, and that from somewhere else, and the source goes by. Okay, so AI has existed during the times of you can say, if you have gone through a lot of old scriptures. So during the time of when they say Ravan, even he's got like 10 different heads. So I got an explanation that these 10 different heads were actually a programmed AI module of Ravan. Why? Because each and every head is a CPU working in its own way. Consider it that way. Okay. AI also existed, and these robots, for that matter, especially, they say they also existed during the time of the when you read all these scriptures. There is Lord Indra, if you know. He always used to have his own set of robot which used to serve his forefront, and he was a little timid personality, and you'll always find, I don't know how many of you have seen those serials, but I have loved watching these old serials on TV, wherein I've always seen this character of Indra who's running for help always, here and there. So I happened to question, because when we were discussing this, if he is running for the help to different place when his kingdom is under attack. Okay, so that time, who is actually there serving the purpose? So the answer what I got is there was always his duplicate. Okay, his robot, a programmed Indra, who used to entertain that attack scenario and used to just try to safeguard. By the time he's going and asking for reinforcements. So maybe the concept of robots was always there. The concept of mutation was always there, because when we talk about AI, we talk about genetic algorithms, and this genetic mutation was always there, especially in Ravan. When you see there were 10 heads, what are these 10 heads? They are mutants. Okay, so, so maybe AI is that old. Okay, and now, to our understanding, the history what humans have captured, that history says how it ought evolved. Okay, so now this is the history according to the books, and these books are being guided by the British environment. So we have an understanding. So in 1943, Warren McCulloch and Walter Pitts, these were the two guys who worked on a Boolean neuron, and they made they wanted to make an AI-based machine. They first make a neuron. Now, what happens here is why they made neuron, because they wanted to mimic the human brain. So they made a first artificial neuron. Warren McCulloch and Walter Pitts. So it was called as McCulloch and Pitts a neuron. That's what they always call. Now, what is this neuron? It is a logical gate. Uh, Most of us have learned during our maybe 10th standard or 11th or 12th if you belong from science. Okay, so maybe you might have heard of logical gates. Okay, now what are these logical gates? These logical gates are a small, you can say, a program in our IT. Where we can program these gates, or in electronics, it is a device which takes an input and calculates an output and give it out. So logical gates are commonly either it is an AND gate, it is an OR gate, or it is a NOT gate, and everything else evolves from that AND or a NOT. Now, what is AND, what is OR, and what is NOT? I'll tell you. When we say AND, That means I'm trying to say a possibility 1 and a possibility 2. I want both. So for example, I say I am a person who's foodie, so I always talk about a lot of food. Okay, so pardon me on that. So if I say there is coffee and a toast, or there is coffee and there is a biscuit or a cookie, so maybe coffee and cookie has to be there. Or now I said a word or. If I say or, that means if not this, then that. So there could be a coffee or tea. So when we have to make choices, we consider two or more choices, or we consider two choices together, or we consider any of one. So logic gates works that way. Like the AND gate says there are two choices to be there, then only the output is to be correct. So for example, the input value to these logic gates is always 0 and 1. Okay, so when the input is 1 and the another input is 1, then the output is 1. That means both the inputs are on. For example, there is a light switch. Okay, and there are a light switch needs to be on, as well as the main power supply needs to be on. So that means power supply and the light switch, if both are on, then the bulb will light, otherwise not. Are you getting it? So that is an AND situation. And similarly, in OR situation, either one of them has to be satisfied. One condition is satisfied, the output will be there. And there is a NOT condition. Whatever input comes in, it always inverses it. If there is 1, it will show it as 0. If there is 0, it will show it as 1. So that is a NOT condition. Everything is being inversed. So, or now what happens in this scenario? They have built this logical gate just like a human neuron. So in our brain, there are billions of neurons. Like there are 100 billion neurons in a human brain. Now these 100 billion neurons, when they when anions, okay, now I have to talk a little bit science here. When anions are being passed in these neurons, they generate a part of current, a bit of electricity. Now they say that a human brain at a time can generate 5 volts of power. Oh wow, that you can actually light a bulb. Maybe that is the reason they always have that light bulb on the head of a human saying, "Yo, dimag ki batti jali." Q, because it can power a 5 voltage of bulb, possibly. That's just a joke apart. So similarly, if you want to mimic a human brain, you need to make neurons, an artificial neuron, something which is like a biological neuron. So to give you a brief, I'll just give you a little brief of that understanding. So how the neuron is there, I'll share that with you. Just a moment. Okay, so here you go. So this is to give you a little idea, okay, of the neuron. Definitely, I'll be discussing more on this neuron, but yeah, this is how human neuron look like. So McCulloch and Pitts tried to build this. Why? So that they can create an artificially intelligent program. Okay, it's just one diagram. Don't worry, I'm going to explain this diagram again in my next session. This is just to show you. All right. Moving back to our original slide. Okay, then Alan Turing came in 1950s. He developed the first complete vision of AI and computing and machinery intelligence was his paper. Okay, somebody is asking a question. Sir, or logic is clear. Please give example of not logic. Okay, I'll give you example of not logic. It is simple. I am breathing. I am not breathing. I am speaking. I am not speaking. Uh, so, for example, any input comes to a not gate, it converts it to direct opposite. Direct opposite. The entire logic of not gate is that. So why do we use it at a point when we need to have an inverse or an opposite outcome? We use not gate. So there could be a possibilities where we need to use a scenario of not being there. So, for example, I am creating a machine which is answering on behalf of me, or a machine which is answering on behalf of me when I am not present. So, when I am not present, a machine will answer on behalf of me. So, to have this condition fulfilled when I'm not there, logically, not gate is used. I hope this justifies you. Uh, is not used only in binary situations. Yeah, uh, because all the situations are binary for a computer. So a computer system understands binary. So yes, if you are using formula in Excel, then you get set examples. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Somebody is writing, for example, select a number between 1 to 10, which is not equal to 4. Yeah, exactly. So there could be multiple possibilities. I just try to give you a real-time example. It could be multiple possibilities. You can build a lot of examples of not. Okay. Moving further ahead, the birth of AI. So it goes with 956, the Dartmouth workshop. Okay, they're talking about that, and they say that during the Dartmouth workshop, bringing together top minds on the automated theory, neural networks, and study of intelligence, which happened. There were a lot of people and in that workshop, and it started from there, according to the history. Then they're talking about a few people like Arthur Samuel, John McCarthy. Okay, these were the people who contributed a lot in the entire AI. Moving further, then came Marvin Minsky in 1958. Okay, he gave block world example. There were a lot of logics which came in. People started. We are going to discuss a few of them definitely, and it further. And now today, what we see, what AI, what we see, it just started from 958 to 966. What happened? It's just there in front of the screen. You can read that with your own time. And now what we have is a very different version of AI. Okay, so currently what we have, we've got lot many things in AI. It's not just one term. We have a neural network, we've got machine learning, we've got deep learning, we've got searches, and God knows what more. So it could be a lot many topics which got evolved after that, and maybe as the history says, from like 1980s till present, a lot many things changed, and now we are working on different formal understandings of AI. They've also mentioned about the Bayesian network formalism. I'll be giving you an example. I'll be helping you with what is Bayesian network. Okay, so I'm not ending. I have something more to say. Just a moment. Just a moment. I'm sharing something more with you before we go off. So here you go. Now I'm going to give you a little explanation on how these machines they work. Okay. So okay, sorry, there is a question. How about that machine or that image of two inverse people and pages? I'm sorry, I didn't get this question. If you can explain me again, I'll be able to guide you. All right. I would like to continue for a little extra period. I hope people are okay with that because I have something to share more. Yeah, I've frozen the screen. I've frozen the screen. I've just frozen the screen. So, all right. Uh, so now to give you an understanding of how a machine or how a computer system for that matter, they calculate and they understand. Okay, so I want to give you an understanding on the same. Okay, what do you think? I'm not purposely sharing some content because I want you all to answer, then I will share the content. So when I say a machine understands humans. Like for example, if you say "Okay Google," and uh, and then that "Okay Google" replies you. Okay, I just said, and my actually Google responded also in my cell phone. So when we say that "Okay Google" and it responds, or when we talk to Alexa and we say "Alexa, please turn the lights off," कैसे समझते होंगे ना? There is always this question in our mind, don't you think? Can you give some examples from our regular utility? Yeah, yeah. I'll give you examples of regular utilities. So on Google, when we say, or maybe if you are an iPhone user, you use Siri, and then you say something to Siri, and Siri responds back. Okay, what do you think? What do you think? This is an intelligent act. How a machine is understanding? Machine को कैसे समझ पड़ रहा है ये सब? What do you think? What is your take on that? Then I'll tell you how exactly it happens. It is natural language processing. Okay, fair enough. This is speech recognition. Okay, fair enough. Covering the sound into command. Okay, fair enough. Again, this is interesting. Okay, converting. ठीक है? और कोई answers? What do you think? What's happening? अगर चलो ये तो स्पीच वाली बात हो गई. अगर मैं स्पीच ना बोलते हुए किसी चैट बॉट से बात कर रहा हूँ, आई एम ऑन कस्टमर केयर and I have typed hello something and I've got a revert back from that chatbot because nowadays we talk a lot to the chatbots because whenever we look for a customer support for banking application or for anything, there are always these machines who are answering us before we connect to humans. So they entertain us for a period. Okay, so if not speech, then auto feed answers are there, processing inputs based on the database. Okay, keyword recognition is happening, keyword search is happening, script recognition is happening. Okay, so many answers. Good, I'm happy that you have something. तो ये तो बहुत एप्लीकेशन लेवल पे आपने बात की. Machine treats other humans as machines. First questions comes up basis our research on the website. Oh, okay, I didn't get this. Keyword analysis. Chatbots take questions and accordingly give answers which are pre-fed. Okay, correct. Certain algorithms are fed into train the machine. Okay, very nice. Based on the keywords. First question on the chatbot. Okay, for that. All right, no problem. So, but still, what you said is still on an application level, but which is now I'll explain you what is application level. First, let me explain that. Then you will understand. For example, now when I'm talking to a machine and machine replies me back, like my cell phone is a machine, my PC is a machine. So I'm giving inputs to my computer system. My computer is replying back to me. So this I'll call it as an application level. जो मुझे दिख रहा है, human को दिख रहा है. A human is talking to machine. But what's happening inside a machine? आपने जब कुछ लिखा, hey how are you, machine knows hey how are you को कैसे process किया. So there has to be some hardware level talk happening. So this entire scenario is divided into two equal halves. One is when machine talking to human or machine interacting to human. We call that as external representation. Or there's another term described to explain that, which is known as knowledge representation. The graphs, what we see, the outcomes, what we see on the screen, what we speak, whatever I'm speaking, what inputs we give, what outputs we get. Okay. So these IO is a part of external representation, but there is some part wherein these inputs are being explained to machine. A machine is talking to machine. ऐसा समझो. So it is an internal representation which is happening. Are you getting it? It is a part of internal representation which is happening inside when a particular machine is taking an input and calculating it and feeding it inside. Are you getting it? So I'm going to talk about that internal representation, how that works. So let me share a document. Behind the scenes. Yeah, behind the scenes, actually behind the scenes. So what's happening behind the scenes? Unfortunately, chatbot being used by large utilities have a lot of limitation. Good at informing amount of variable, and if a copy of a bill is requested, blah blah blah. Okay, perfect. That's true. Now here it's there in front of you. The first thing, in order to act intelligently, a computer must have the knowledge about the domain of interest. That's very important. That when a computer needs to act intelligently, and we have already discussed what is acting intelligently and what is intelligence for that matter. When a computer needs to do that, it needs to have a knowledge about the domain of interest. So knowledge is important. That is what I said. From the knowledge, what we get is intelligence if it is implemented correctly. Now, the knowledge is a body of facts and principles gathered or an act, fact, or state of knowing, which means it is a domain which has been derived from the data, a data which is a collection of these facts and figures. Now, this knowledge needs to be presented in a form which is understood by machine, which a machine can understand. Whatever I am saying, it needs to be converted to a machine form which a machine can understand. This unique format behind the scene part is called as internal representation. There are several methods to do that. So it's not just one way. There are several ways. Marvin Minsky developed his own way. McCulloch and Pitts spoke about his own way. Everybody spoke about his own way to represent that. We're going to talk about one of the way. So thus the plain English sentences could be translated into an internal representation, and they could be used to answer based on the given sentences. All right. I hope you got this. This much is clear. What is internal representation? Now, I'm going to talk about further what are the properties of these internal representation. It's very interesting to understand the properties of internal representation. Now, the first property I'm going to talk about is referential ambiguity. Now, this is very important when you are trying to ensure that your machine understands the plain English. There are chances of referential ambiguity. There is an example which is written. Raj said that Ram was not well. He must be lying. There are two sentences. Raj said that Ram was not well. He must be lying. Now you tell me who is he here? What do you think? Who is he, according to your knowledge? Is it Raj or it is Ram? Somebody says Raj. Why? You know Raj personally that he is lying? Why can't it be Ram? What do you think? See, the point is there arise referential ambiguity. इसको बोलते हैं. Whom you are trying to reference. आप reference किसे कर रहे हो? ये ambiguity है. There lies this referential ambiguity, biggest problem for internal representation. So we need to have our internal representation that way that this referential ambiguity is removed. Okay, there was another challenge which is known as word sense ambiguity. It's very beautiful here, which is explained word sense ambiguity. Okay, somebody said, I think Raj is my favorite. He's correct. Okay. Now, what is word sense ambiguity? There is an example again. Raj caught a pen. Raj caught a train. Raj caught fever. अब राज कॉट अ पेन का मतलब है भाई राज ने पेन को पकड़ा, अपने हाथों से पकड़ा. कॉट द पेन, लिखने के लिए पकड़ा हो सकता है. राज कॉट ए ट्रेन, मतलब वो उसने जाके अपने हाथों से ट्रेन को शायद पकड़ा नहीं, लेकिन वो ट्रेन में बैठ गया. व्हेन यू से आई कॉट द बस, व्हेन यू से यू कॉट द बस, मतलब क्या आप एक्चुअली जाके बस को पकड़ रहे हो क्या? नहीं, you are sitting inside the bus, you caught the bus. Or I caught a cab does not mean that you're actually catching the cab, like you're in the cab. Okay. Raj caught fever, मतलब फीवर को जाके राज ने जकड़ लिया, पकड़ लिया जोर से, नहीं. It means Raj is unwell, he's sick. So सोचने वाली बात है, ये वर्ड caught जो है ना, it has different meaning. This is known as word sense ambiguity. हमारे इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में या हमारी कोई भी लैंग्वेज में, इंग्लिश नहीं छोड़ो, कोई भी लैंग्वेज में, this word sense ambiguity exists. Do you agree to me? Yes. Okay, somebody, Raj said only who said must be lying. Okay, that's interesting. So these two type of ambiguities, like a referential ambiguity and a word sense ambiguity, are very important. Now there's a third problem here. Okay, there is a third problem. Somebody is writing Sanskrit must have less. I'll come to that. I will come to that. What you are trying to say. Internal representation must explicitly mention functional structure. Very, very important. देखो, एक्टिव स्पीच और पैसिव स्पीच शायद आपको और मुझे समझ जाए, लेकिन मशीन को समझाने के लिए there has to be some way. For example दिया simple. Ram killed Ravan. Another statement is Ravan was killed by Ram. बात तो एक ही है, आप और हम समझ सकते हैं, but the functional structure जो है ना इसका, functional structure is very different. Try to see. Ram killed Ravan has one functional structure. Ravan was killed by Ram has another functional structure. There could be a possibility that in the second functional structure, both the persons are different. There could be a possibility Ram killed Ravan, matlab, you are talking right now as a present tense. Killed him just now. Ravan was killed, matlab, you're talking about a past tense. It happened like a year ago, something like that maybe. Could be multiple. ये दो तो खाली मेरे दिमाग में आए, आपके दिमाग में और भी कुछ आ सकता है. तो सोचो machines को कैसे समझाया जाए. This is something. If you use such functional structures, it is difficult for a machine to understand. So, in order to have the original order, in order to preserve the original logic of the sentence, you need to get rid of this functional structure issue. So you need to explicitly mention very, very clear to a machine, a straightforward structure. So then your internal understanding of a machine can be handled. So they came up with something. Okay, they thought, okay, we need to work on it. So they came up with an understanding which is known as predicate calculus, one of the internal representation methodology. So what is this predicate calculus? This is one of them. there's a first order logic, FOPL, first order predicate logic, बहुत सारी चीजें हैं. I'm not taking you to that drive, just trying to tell you. Predicate calculus is an internal representation methodology which helps us in deducing more results from the given propositions or the statements. Okay, so predicate calculus accesses individual components of propositions and represents the proposition. Simple example which has been given here: Raj came late on Sunday. So now this simple sentence, Raj came late on Sunday, can be represented in a predicate calculus format. Like if we need to consider it, there are three components in this entire scenario. One is Raj, another is Sunday, then there is came late. So it will be represented as came late Raj Sunday. इसको एक दूसरे तरीके से देखा जाए, राज केम लेट ऑन संडे को मैं एक दूसरे तरीके से समझाना चाहूंगा. लेट्स से राज इज अ वेरिएबल, a Sunday, okay, is another variable. So let's say Raj is A, Sunday is B. इन दोनों को मैं तो वेरिएबल्स का नाम बता देता हूँ. और came late जो है वो उसका लॉजिक है. ठीक है, so I say that is plus sign. Just I'm randomly explaining. Don't literally connect that. So A plus B, अगर मुझे A plus B को प्रेडिकेट कैलकुलस फॉर्म में समझाना होगा तो कुछ इस तरीके से लिखा जाएगा, प्लस A B. मशीन्स को कुछ इस तरीके से इनपुट दिए जाते हैं ताकि वो समझे. अब ये कैसे हो रहा है, आई एम कमिंग टू दैट. ओके, ये A plus B से कैसे हो रहा है. So now in this entire scenario, there is a grammar which is playing role. Okay, here came late is a predicate that describes the relation between a person and the day. वो रिलेशन है, जैसे मैंने बोला A plus B, तो प्लस की साइन जो है ना वो रिलेशन बता रही है उस A और B के बीच का. उस तरीके से came late एक रिलेशन बता रहा है, तो वो क्या है, वो एक प्रेडिकेट है. this is something which I'm talking plain English, जो शायद हमने स्कूल टाइम पे सीखी थी. प्रेडिकेट्स हमने सीखे थे स्कूल टाइम पे, प्रोपोजिशंस हमने सीखे थे स्कूल टाइम पे, मे बी थर्ड फोर्थ स्टैंडर्ड जब आप बेसिक इंग्लिश सीख रहे थे बहुत छोटी उम्र में. ये वो टाइम से है. इट्स अ बेसिक इंग्लिश अंडरस्टैंडिंग. सो राज केम लेट ऑन अ संडे. If that has to be defined, then we remove that predicate and we represent that. So what happens here is, in this scenario, the sentence is divided into two parts. दो पार्ट में डिवाइड किया जाता है. एक तो है आर्ग्यूमेंट्स, ऑब्जेक्ट्स. ये आर्ग्यूमेंट्स और ऑब्जेक्ट्स क्या है, राज है और संडे है. और assertion या फिर predicate, assertion which is made about those statements, मतलब इन दोनों का रिलेशन जस्टिफाई करने के लिए वो assertion को predicate बोला गया है, जो है came late. तो दो पार्ट में एक सेंटेंस को डिवाइड कर दिया जाता है. ठीक है, जब मशीन्स को इनपुट देने होते हैं तो कुछ इसी तरीके से काम होता है. इंग्लिश सेंटेंस को डिवाइड किया जाता है. अब दूसरा सिनेरियो देखो जहां पे एक एडजेक्टिव लगा दिया गया. वो एडजेक्टिव लगा दिया गया इंग्लिश सेंटेंस में, राज केम लेट ऑन रेनी संडे. आप बोलोगे कि अब क्या करेंगे, तो रेनी संडे जो है, ये रेनी संडे एडजेक्टिव को अलग तरीके से मशीन में जस्टिफाई किया जाता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, पहले सिनेरियो में केम लेट राज संडे, मतलब A plus B वाला सिनेरियो प्लस AB, उसमें एक सिनेरियो में बता दिया कि राज केम लेट ऑन संडे, एक सेंटेंस. और दूसरा सेंटेंस इसमें ये है कि संडे जो है वो रेनी है. सो वी आर ट्राइंग टू कनेक्ट दीज टू सेंटेंसेस. तो ये जो एडजेक्टिव लगा देने से दो सेंटेंस बन जाते हैं, दो मीनिंग निकल जाते हैं, उसको यहाँ पर डिवाइड किया जाता है और लॉजिकल एंड गेट यूज किया जाता है. नाउ हाउ डू वी यूज इट, केम लेट राज संडे एंड the instance that Sunday is rainy is another sentence. तो मैंने आपको क्या कहा था, एंड लॉजिक क्या और लॉजिक यूज किए जाते, तो यहाँ लॉजिक गेट, तो दो सेंटेंस को डिवाइड करके एंड लगा दिया तो ये सेंटेंस कनेक्ट हो गए। ठीक है, शायद आप एकदम से नहीं समझो, बट maybe with a few more examples you will understand how machines work. So now the syntax of predicate calculus, which I'm going to explain you further, they work this way. In a predicate calculus, the proposition is divided into two parts. As I said, one is argument, another is a predicate. The arguments are individual or objects, and assertion which is made on which assertion is made about, and the predicate is an assertion made about them. So in an English sentence, objects are nouns that serve as a subject and object of a sentence, and the predicate is a verb. So जो यहाँ पर हमारा राज और संडे है, ये नाउन है, एक प्रॉपर नाउन है, बराबर है। तो हमने ये सीखा था प्रॉपर नाउन्स एंड कॉमन नाउन, अगर आपको पता हो तो एक नाउन वाला पार्ट है और एक वर्ब वाला पार्ट है। वर्ब पार्ट है केम लेट। दूसरा एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पे बताया गया है, विनोद लाइक्स एन एप्पल, जस्ट एग्जाम्पल। तो विनोद और एप्पल, ये जो दो चीजें हैं यहाँ पर, ये ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं और ये ऑब्जेक्ट्स ये नाउन है। अब लाइक्स जो है दैट इज अ वर्ब। सो एक सेंटेंस के अंदर नाउन एंड वर्ब्स होते हैं, उसको यहाँ पर बता दिया गया है। सो इसको अगर बताना हो एआई के पार्ट में या इंटरनल रिप्रेजेंटेशन के प्रेडिकेट कैलकुलस पार्ट में, तो लाइक्स विनोद एप्पल इस तरीके से लिखना होगा। तो वर्ब पार्ट को बाहर निकाल दिया जाएगा और जो ऑब्जेक्ट्स है उसको बाद में एक के बाद एक रखा जाएगा। तो वो वर्ब उन ऑब्जेक्ट्स के बारे में बता रहा है और इस चीज को एक ब्रैकेट में डाल दिया जाएगा। ये तरीका है, इसको बोलते हैं लिस्ट प्रोसेसिंग, जो जॉन मैकार्थी ने इन्वेंट किया था, जहां पर एक लिस्ट को प्रोसेस किया जाता है। जब आप एक इंग्लिश सेंटेंस देते हो मशीन को, विनोद लाइक्स एन एप्पल, वो मशीन उसको कन्वर्ट कर देती है, उसमें से वर्ब अलग निकाल दिया जाता है, ऑब्जेक्ट्स अलग निकाल दिए जाते हैं और उसको इस तरीके से रिप्रेजेंट किया जाता है मशीन में। why this is happening, why this list processing is happening? Because for a machine to make it understand, whatever comes first is a verb, whatever comes after a verb is an object. तो मशीन को सिंपल भाषा में अंडरस्टैंड करवा दिया जाता है कि सबसे पहले जो भी तुम्हें इनपुट मिले वो तुम्हारा वर्ब पार्ट है, ठीक है, वो तुम्हारा यू कैन से प्रेडिकेट वाला पार्ट है, और जो सेकंड इनपुट मिले वो आर्गुमेंट है। तो मशीन को ये सिंपल भाषा में समझा दिया जाता है, तो फिर मशीन समझ जाती है कि लाइक्स एप्पल विनोद या लाइक्स विनोद एप्पल है, तो उसका मतलब ये है कि विनोद लाइक्स एन एप्पल। तो मतलब मैंने बोल दिया प्लस ए बी, मतलब मशीन को ए और बी की वैल्यूज को प्लस करना है। और अगर मैं मान लो ऐसा बोल दूं प्लस ए बी सी डी ई एफ, तो वो मशीन उस ए बी सी डी ई एफ की सबकी वैल्यूज को प्लस कर देगा, क्योंकि पहला ही वर्ब है ना, बाकी तो ऑब्जेक्ट्स है। और अगर मल्टीपल ऑब्जेक्ट्स और मल्टीपल वर्ब्स हैं तो उस सेंटेंस को हम डिवाइड कर देते हैं मल्टीपल सेंटेंसेस के अंदर। तो अगर लंबा सेंटेंस है जिसके अंदर ऑब्जेक्टिव है, तो उस सेंटेंस को हम डिवाइड करके दो सेंटेंस में बना देते हैं और उसको एंड और के लॉजिक के साथ बिठा देते हैं। आर यू गेटिंग इट? I hope I am able to give you a little understanding. I know एकदम से नहीं समझेगा शायद। Okay, a lot of yeses. Thank you. Abhi, now I'll give you another example. There could be a possibility, जैसे कि when we said Raj came late on rainy Sunday, तो Sunday is rainy यहाँ पर तो verb है ही नहीं, because is not a verb. तो उसी तरीके से यहाँ एग्जाम्पल में बताया गया अनीता इज अ वुमन। अब अनीता इज अ वुमन में वर्ब पार्ट तो है ही नहीं, तब क्या करें? तो ऐसी सिचुएशंस को हैंडल करने के लिए इन्होंने क्या यूज किया, इंस्टेंसिएशन, जिसको INST का नाम देके बताया गया है। इंस्टेंस अनीता वुमन, व्हेन देयर इज नो वर्ब यू सिंपली डायरेक्टली एक्सप्लेन दिस इज इक्वल टू दिस, खत्म। आर यू गेटिंग इट? So there could be, the sentences could be of two types, with the verb, without the verb, दोनों हैंडल हो गए। Okay, so order of an object is important. Yes, very much important. Ram like Sita, how do we represent that? It would be likes Ram Sita. Order बड़ा important है, इसीलिए तो कहा हमने जब आगे देखा तो उन्होंने क्या बता, एक एग्जाम्पल था कि रावण किल्ड सॉरी राम किल्ड रावण और रावण वॉज किल्ड बाय राम। तो वहां पे उसका ऑर्डर बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है, पहले ही बता दिया गया। Okay, it is more like programming, which will make it easy to understand. Yes, uh, we will be doing few little programming wala step, not pura. What is INSC? INSC means instance. It is defining an instance where Anita is a woman. It is an instance which has been defined directly without a verb situation. ठीक है, अब सेंटेंसेस के अंदर और क्या क्या होता है? सेंटेंसेस में होती है कॉन्स्टेंट्स, सेंटेंसेस में होती है वेरिएबल्स। कॉन्स्टेंट्स तो हम जानते हैं कि विच हैज अ फिक्स्ड वैल्यू, वेरिएबल इज समथिंग विच हैज अ वेरिएशन और वेरिएबल वैल्यू जिसकी वैल्यू वैरी हो रही है, बदल रही है। ओके, सो इट कुड बी पॉसिबल, यहाँ पर एग्जांपल दिया गया है कि Vinod likes an apple could be represented in a variable form if x stands for Vinod, x is equal to Vinod, and y is equal to an apple. So the proposition becomes likes x comma y. Are you getting it? उसके बाद में इंस्टेंसिएशन है, जब वर्ब पार्ट नहीं है तो हम इंस्टेंसिएशन को यूज करते हैं, डायरेक्टली एक्सप्लेन करते हैं। देन कम्स द कनेक्टिव्स, और ये कनेक्टिव्स क्या है? एंड और नॉट, जो कनेक्ट करते हैं दिस एंड दिस और दिस। Okay, there is another question. Ram likes Sita. Does it same Sita likes Ram? No, it's different. As I said, it's very, very different. Ram likes Sita is one sentence. Sita likes Ram is another sentence. So इन दोनों को अलग तरीके से ऑर्डर बदल जाएगा। Likes राम सीता होगा और वहां पे likes सीता राम होगा। ऑर्डर बदल जाने से मतलब भी तो बदल जाता है। यू आर ट्राइंग टू से one person is liking another, whether the another person is liking back that person is not get mentioned ना। तो ऑर्डर बदलना है हमें, तो it has to be different. Okay, after these connectives there are quantifiers. तो इन्होंने क्या किया, कुछ quantifiers यूज किए just to quantify ना। क्वांटिटी दो पार्ट में डिवाइड की गई है, एक सिंगुलर क्वांटिटी, दूसरी मोर देन दैट, प्लूरल। यहाँ तो सिंगल है, यहाँ तो ज्यादा है। So there are universal quantifier, there are existential quantifier. So when we say universal quantifier, we are in a sentence we are talking for all, हम सबके लिए बोल रहे हैं। And there is an existential quantifier where I am talking for one. There exists, I'm talking about a singularity, I am talking about only one part. So quantify कर दिया इन्होंने। तो वहां पर सेंटेंसेस के अंदर अगर यहाँ पे नीचे एग्जाम्पल दिया गया है सेंटेंस का, ऑल महाराष्ट्रियंस आर इंडियन सिटीजन, सो मीन्स आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट फॉर ऑल, I'm talking about for all people, they are Indian citizens. Yes, for all Maharashtrians, they are Indian citizens. Simple sentence है। So there we use for all as a quantifier. अब ये तो होगी इनकी ग्रामर। So predicate calculus में क्या क्या चीजें कनेक्ट होती हैं? A set of constants, variables, predicates, functions with their own specified number of arguments. There are connectives, which are if, and, or, and not. There are quantifiers, which quantifies their exist or for all. Are you getting it? So we formulate all the sentences to the internal representation of the machine understanding. Are you getting it? So this is just to give you a little gist of it. मैंने अभी भी पूरा खत्म नहीं किया. So it's just to give you a gist of it. In further sessions, we will learn more about how it is working. Okay, we will get into a little more depth of it. I hope I'm able to justify and being able to make you understand this part. All right. So if there are any questions, I can answer before ending the session. So since we started a little late because of the disturbance, I had to little continue. Yes. So can we stop for the day? Yes. We will stop for the day. We will. Does all Martian does it mean to humans? Yeah. If the sentence is that was just a sentence. Don't take it literally. वो एक example sentence है. PPT sharing. Okay, I can do that. I'll share all that. Don't worry. In fact, Shweta ma'am will share you a compiled version of entire 10 days stuff. So don't worry. Okay. Any questions so far? Can the order also be Raj then came late Sunday instead of came late? No, the order cannot be that way because machines have to be into the same order. Order change हुआ तो output गलत हो जाएगा यहाँ पे. In especially programming, we can't change the order. Thank you, Jayashree. So, any more questions? Verb has to be first. Yes, verb has to be first. The order is that way. Okay. So, thank you. Shweta, you can, if you're there, you can take over the session.
Yeah. Hardik, are you there?
Yeah, I am there.
Okay. So if no question is there, we can close it for today. Before closing, I request you, Hardik, please propose a official vote of thanks.
Sure. First of all, let me thank you, WRC of ICI, who has given me this great opportunity to give a formal vote of thanks to our learned faculty for the day. So, on behalf of WRC of ICI, I would really propose a great vote of thanks